In this video, I will show you guys how to simply draw your support and resistance levels properly following a step-by-step approach. Let's dive in and define what exactly is a support or a resistance. Support levels are areas where buyers overpower sellers and push the price upward in a downtrend or after a pullback in an uptrend. Resistance levels are the opposite, where sellers overpower buyers and push the price downward in an uptrend or after a pullback in a downtrend. Now guys, tell me, why is it important to properly identify support and resistance levels? Let's look at the chart and identify the first two obvious levels and draw our horizontal lines. Here you go. As you can see, we can just sit and wait for the price to react at these levels. We can easily identify two trade opportunities. To be able to identify these levels, I will list for you certain criteria that you need to take into consideration. But guys, keep in mind that not all of them should be met. Even one is enough to identify a level. The first one is the level of swing high or swing low. This is one of the most important steps that I will show in details in a minute. The second one, the level should be obvious. No need to guess, you need to be able to identify it within seconds. The third one, there should be a strong reaction at or near the level. The reaction should be quick and strong. The fourth and last one, you should see multiple rejections at or near the level. This can confirm that the level is a strong one. Let's now get back to the first criteria and dive into more details. The first step that we need to complete on the chart is to identify swing highs and swing lows. As you can see here, I am drawing all the swings that I find obvious. A quick tip: I would suggest to identify your levels on the daily time frame or higher. This will ensure you don't get lost in the noise of lower time frames. Of course, intraday swings can be identified, but I wouldn't recommend going lower than the 4-hour time frame. You can see that we have 9 swings. Let's begin with the first one here. You need to draw a horizontal line to identify the level. We go to the next swing now, and again draw our level. This seems to be our lowest one. The third swing here, same concept. Now pay attention, the next swing coincides with a line already drawn, so no need to do anything. Now that you understand the concept, let's accelerate and draw the remaining levels. Remember, if you judge that a level is too close to another one, you can choose to ignore it. It doesn't mean that it is not an important one, but the key here is to avoid having 20 levels and not be able to see the chart clearly. By definition, the last one is what we call a false breakout. It breaches the level and quickly retraces back under it. Now, let's tackle the second criteria, which is to identify obvious levels. You can see that all our levels are clear and evident. It should not take you more than a few seconds to identify the level as obvious or not. The level should be clear. If it takes you too long, then consider the level not obvious. Let's jump to the third criteria. The strength of support or resistance can be determined by the strength of the price reaction off of it. Any price area that reverses a trend is a strong level. Here are the levels you should identify as strong due to the quick moves when the price visits them. You should always pay attention to your important levels, either for taking profits or setting your stop losses. Fourth but not least, this criteria is really important. Support and resistance become more valuable when the market actually respects the levels multiple times. The more often the price tests a support or resistance area, the more significant the level becomes. When the price keeps bouncing off a level, more traders notice that level and will base their trading decisions on it. Now, let's go over 2 examples, one in each of the stock and Forex markets, and practice what we have just learned. But just before, I hope you are enjoying the education till now. Please smash the subscribe and like button to support the channel. Now, let's work on our first example. Alcoa Corporation in the stock market, on the weekly time frame. Let's bring our 4 criteria and start plotting our swing highs and swing lows. As mentioned before, plot only the important swings. This way you won't have too many levels and your chart will be clean. Now, let's draw our levels. This level coincides with one already drawn. Same thing here. Notice that the remaining swings match with existing levels. This means that we had multiple trading opportunities, but it doesn't mean that we would have taken them all. I will show you in a future video how to trade around these levels. We will go over each level and see how many conditions are respected. The greater the number of criteria respected, the stronger is the level. Our first criterion is always respected because we use it to draw our levels, so let's put a check mark on it. We can see here that the first level is an obvious one. Also, check the quick and strong price action rejecting the level, confirming the third condition. Multiple rejections can be seen here too, making this level a strong one since it respects all our criteria. The next level is not that obvious since it represents small swings. We notice a strong reaction to the downside here, so condition 3 is met. Condition 4 is confirmed by these 2 rejections. This level is pretty obvious and we notice 2 quick reactions. The first one to the upside and the second one to the downside. The fourth condition is also met. We can count 4 reactions, making this level a strong one. I want to show you another particularity in the fourth condition. Sometimes, when you have multiple rejections, they can represent a support becoming a resistance or a resistance becoming a support. We can see here that this level was a resistance level. Buyers were then able to break that level. The price then retested it. The price action confirmed that now the resistance level became a support. Now, notice that the same thing happened during the downtrend. First, the level acted as a support, then the sellers were able to break that level. Once the price retested the breakout zone, then the support level became a resistance. And remember guys, when I say a strong level, this doesn't mean the price will always stop at that level, but the area should be given more respect by traders. The next level is also crystal clear. Again, 2 important reactions to that level. Lastly, we confirm the fourth condition with these 3 touches. We can see here that this level was a resistance level. Buyers were then able to break that level. The price then retested it. The price action confirmed that now the resistance level became a support. Now, notice that the same thing happened during the downtrend. First, the level acted as a support, then the sellers were able to break that level. Now the price is heading to that level again. Let's see in the future how the price will react to it. The last level is a key level too since it respects all the criteria. Obvious level, strong reaction, and 3 touches. This marks the end of our first example. The next example is a 2-day time frame, Euro-Yen pair, on the Forex market. As usual, let's bring our conditions and begin drawing the swings. Then, draw our horizontal lines. Don't forget guys, when a swing is near a level already drawn, no need to have a new one, you can use the same level. This way, you keep your chart clean. As you can see, the next 6 swings all reacted to the levels already defined earlier, presenting you with plenty of trading opportunities. You see now why identifying correctly these levels can give a real edge in trading. Let's draw the last one. As a price reaches a support or resistance, it has 3 options. Bounce back away from the level, break the level and continue in its direction until it hits the next one, or it can just pause and consolidates before choosing a direction. Using the same method, let's go through all the levels, but this time faster than the first example as we begin to understand the concept. All the conditions were met here. We even have 6 touches. And another one respecting our conditions. Again, a lot of touches at this level too. A question that I get asked frequently is, when to draw zones instead of lines? I would say it is really a matter of preference. For example, I myself prefer to work with lines because I want my chart to be clear. Let's now redraw the levels, but using zones this time. When drawing zones, you try to include all reactions near a certain area. As you see here, I try to include the highest closing price and also the highest wick near that level. For the second zone, we try to cover the highest and the lowest closing price in that area and also all the wicks near them. Now, let's draw all the remaining levels at the same time to show you something. By defining only 3 zones, you can already see that there isn't much space between them, which will make our trading decisions difficult. That's why I prefer lines. But it's important to remember, support and resistance are not exact levels. An experienced trader treats the lines as zones, and a certain level could very well be broken and still remain valid, as long as price action reverts within a reasonable time frame or distance from that line. Now, let's test our knowledge with the up quiz. Only 3 questions, guys. Let's go. When you draw support and resistance levels, the levels can be A. Lines, B. Zones, or C. All the above. If you answered C, well done. Second question. When price breaks through a resistance level, the level could become A. Support, B. Resistance, or C. Insignificant. If you answered A, well done. Now time for the bonus question. What are the best time frames to draw critical support and resistance levels? A. 1 hour, B. Daily and higher, or C. 15 minutes. Let me know your answer to the bonus question in the comments section, and also your results on the first 2 questions. That's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Please like and subscribe to help the channel, and see you in the next lesson.